All right, I'm going through the Star Trek animated series at warp speed. We've talked about a bunch of episodes so far in this deal. I've actually watched too many, so I'm trying to catch up for you guys and show you what we got. And I'll go over some quick reviews of these as I go along. Now, my luster's worn off a little bit. And when I first started this, and I watched the first couple of episodes, I was really hype on this, and I was like, "Wow, this is real Star Trek." I'm excited. I still like it, but I got to say, like the 22-minute episodes and the glossing over stuff, and it starts like there's a problem with every episode where it's just like, okay, this is a little too silly, right? And that's what I'm that's what I get, and that's the nature of the format of this being a Saturday morning cartoon, and going for that and dumbing it down a little bit compared to what the original series was, but it's still pretty good. It's good, not great, as we go along, and I'm excited for some of these episodes. Let's talk about all of them that I've watched after this. My name's John Delarose. I am a science fiction writer myself. If you like my thoughts on Star Trek, like my thoughts on the reviews and on the writing, etc., check out my new trilogy. It's on Fund My Comic right now. These are books, not comics, though. Long story, but this is a site that I like to support. I like the owners here. And so I am putting these out right here so that you can get a full trilogy, get some good character depth. And this is real science fiction, real exploring strange new worlds. Check it out. It's in the description below. I appreciate you guys for backing us and supporting us. And thank you again for supporting independent science fiction. It's tough out there, guys, and it is something that we're trying to really get going. And I do appreciate your reading. So I think I left off. I don't think I covered the Infinite Vulcan last time. And the Infinite Vulcan is a pretty funny one. They end up at this like weird alien spot. And it's actually written by Walter Koenig, the guy who played Chekhov, who Chekhov's notably absent from the animated series. It's interesting he wrote an episode, though, at the same time. There's this sort of guy out there who's like, who was a mad scientist who he wants to impose peace on the galaxy. So he creates this like giant godlike being who's, very Star Trek-y in nature. And he likes Spock, and he thinks Spock would help him with that. So he creates a giant clone of Spock as well. And so they have to kind of fight about this. There are some interesting tentacle monsters in this as well. This is one of the better episodes. I had a lot of fun with this one. And even though there's a giant Spock clone that just shows up, it's really funny. They call him Spock 2 at that. And it's really entertaining. So they get him back by of course making him more Vulcan-like at the end of it, and then Spock saves the original Spock's life as well. Spock 2 stays on the planet and exists and continues. Very funny. I would love to see like a one of the novelizations expand upon Spock 2 in the giant Spock 2. But this was an entertaining one. I call it an 8 out of 10. All right. As we move along, we go to the Magics of the Megos 2. Now, this was probably the worst and most insulting episode of the show. It was pretty dumb of a concept. And this one, Enterprise gets roped in by this weird devil creature who's definitely a devil. And there's these, aliens who are Puritans. And they want the Star Trek guys to just, off him for them, basically. And Captain Kirk's like, no, I don't do that. And they're like, okay, this was a test to see if you were compassionate or not. It's like, you're being compassionate to, a devil? And then the devil turns out to be a nice guy at the end of it. It's like, what's happening here? That didn't work out so well as a plot. So I call that a 4 out of 10. Pretty bad. Next one is upon returning to the amusement park planet in Shore Leave. Yay, this was good. And by the way, this was originally developed as a original series episode. They were going to do Shore Leave 2. And I think they just took the concept of it. They've got different writers than the original Shore Leave writer. And they come back there. The caretaker of the planet died. The computer's taken over, and the computer's pretty nasty at this point. And they just have to talk the computer down. This was a nice episode. It wasn't super exciting or super innovative or anything like that. It was definitely a return to an episode before, but that's pretty nice to watch. I'd call that a 7 out of 10. Speaking of revisiting, they revisit Harvey Mudd. Harvin Denton Mudd, is that what it was? Harvin Denton Mudd? I don't remember. Harry Mudd, whatever. And they come back. He sells what they think is a fake love potion, but it's a real love potion, it turns out. He looks like he's a grifter through this, and he grifts again and gets himself into trouble. I never liked much of the Mudd episodes of the original series so much. It was not my favorite sort of things. So, yeah, cool they revisited this here, but that's that. then we get to the Territon incident. This is a pretty interesting one where the Enterprise crew begins to shrink, and they end up, there's this like whole shrunken colony, it turns out. This is very cheesy comic booky sci-fi. And I wouldn't have liked it for the original series because it's too silly. But for a cartoon, it was fun, and I enjoyed it. And so eventually, it turns out it was just automated systems that were getting them there, and the Enterprise brings them back. And I'm glossing over these pretty quickly because I watched too many of them too fast and didn't do a video on them because there was so much other Star Trek news I wanted to cover. And I'm just trying to make this a quick video for you guys because I know that you like quick videos. Finally, I got into the time trap, which brings back the Klingons, and that's pretty nice. And there's a bunch of Klingon vessels and a bunch of other vessels that have gone missing. It's a Bermuda Triangle. They call it the Delta Triangle. And this ship starts firing on the Enterprise, and then it disappears. And so Commander Kor shows up and then accuses the Enterprise of trying to cause problems and destroying the ship. And there's a big problem out there. But the Klothos, which disappeared, the Enterprise disappears as well. The Enterprise uses its science-y stuff to get back to the real universe and resolve the conflict. And the Klingons just go away; they don't fight anymore. So this is a quality episode as well. Gosh, I talked this down at the beginning of the video, saying like I wasn't as in love with it as I was before, which is true, I would say. But I liked all it. As I get through it, like the only real one I didn't like was the Magics of Merrick 2. Infinite Vulcan was silly with but the problem is like. All of it's a little too silly. Like, right? You have like the weird devil guy who's just laughing, and it's like it takes you a giant Spock 2. It's like you're just gonna call him Spock 2. Silly. This one didn't have a silly element to it, so it's like the only one out of this whole. Mud's Passion with a love potion, where Christine Chapel's trying to get Spock on the love potion and thinking it didn't work when it kind of did work. It's entertaining, but it's silly. Again, it reeks of fan fiction a little bit. The shrinking, it's again a silly comic book concept. So a Bermuda Triangle, these are a little bit just silly of concepts, and so I like it but don't love it, and that's where all of these are at. But I'm still enjoying it. I'm still going to watch the rest of it, and of course I will at the end of season 1. I will go through the rest of the 4 episodes, and I'll be a little slower on those because I just watched too many, and I didn't want to make a super long video for you guys because I respect your time. And that's exactly what the Star Trek animated series does. It's in and out. If there's a bad episode, you're in and out pretty fast, so you don't feel like you lost. It's unlike Strange New Worlds. It's like, gosh, I watched this for almost an hour. Interesting stuff. So the animated series rolls along, and thank you guys for watching. We're almost to 1,000 subscribers, which is great because that's when we'll get monetized here. So tell your friends, hit the like and subscribe button, leave comments to help the algorithm go and stuff. And this is the animated series. I appreciate you being here. If you like my thoughts on science fiction, check out my books, guys. It's in the description below. We'll be back soon.